I cannot be away from home. Like, I'm in this concrete jungle. I have no friends. I have like, besides my mom being there to support me, I had nobody. Like, I would use the word depressed because I cried. What are you going to make of yourself? What are you going to be? Like, do you want to go to school? You want to end up working in the business? Like, what is that you're going to do when you stay? And so in my head, I was like, I don't care what option, you know what, send me back and I just go do my thing. And I was just flowing through New York. I was just like, I hate this. I didn't have a community. I didn't have friends. I didn't have people who I could relate to for so long. And even when I booked the job in Japan, like, I was more comfortable in New York, but it still wasn't home. I was like still sad, you know. I was like, okay, like, I have this amazing opportunity. And being in Japan is what kind of raised my vibrations a little bit. I was happier again. And I think because I was so happy, it kind of, then when the new year started, I was like, okay, I finally got to that point of like being like happy and content with what I'm doing. And then it kind of just kept going and going from that point. But maybe if I didn't end up booking that job in Japan, I would just be like, here's another year in New York. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I was so...
during that bad time, I'm sure it built some sort of character.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of like your, I don't know, like, they always say, try to think positive, even the bad things that from this experience, even though I feel like shit right now, I'm sure that I'm taking something from it. And maybe it was that little bit of, okay, I don't really feel happy, but somehow I'm still sticking it true. Why am I still
Why am I sticking it true?
And then you discover like a new level of kind of
purpose,
passion
right?
or purpose you have for what you're doing, because why am I still pursuing this if I'm not unhappy, if I'm unhappy in this place? And then,
because was it like, because it's kind of like a tug of war. You're like, you want, this is your dream, but then, you know, what am I? And I feel like in general, that's what life is, right? So you kind of go through the struggle to come out.
What did you do different when you went from Japan back to New York then? Because your vibrations were high.
Listen, when I tell you, in my mind, I was manifesting like that last month when I was no lie, and that's when I realized that manifestation is a real thing. That last month when I was in Japan, I was first of all, I had so much time on my hands, even though we was like traveling and stuff. I would meditate almost just sit down in silence, you know, just think about, you know, I would always say like, what am I grateful for? I'll say, what am I grateful for? What do I love? What do I appreciate? Every morning I would sit down on the floor. I would let the sun shine in through the window. And I would ask myself those things and I would meditate. And I know it sounds like, okay, you know, but especially that last month, I was like, Bianca, you're going back to New York. As much as you know that you do not like New York, tell yourself you love New York. One thing I was struggling with too, I wanted to make friends. I was like, tell yourself that you will make friends. Tell yourself that it's going to be a great year. And I really had to convince myself now. Like, I would sit down there and be like, Bianca, you have a few weeks left. You are going to love New York. You're going to make friends. You're going to be comfortable. It's going to be a great year. I had to literally repeat that.
You have that quality about you that you're able to, I guess, tell yourself like, okay, here I go.
Right.
Everything's gonna be perfect, you know. Well,
but even like there's like the little voice in your head,
right?
Yeah, voice like people.
But I realized how negative I also was. So I was staying in that vibration, you know. But even when I was on the plane, like when I was landing in New York, something in me was like, and I was like, no. I was like, yes. I was like, yes.
That is important. A lot of people still getting themselves out of that, that negative,
because if you really think about it, you're in your head. You're in your head. And if you start to realize how much negativity you send yourself
every day,
and that, and it's connected to the universe, and you, if you feeding yourself negativity, what do you think is gonna happen?
Exactly.
Your perspective
Nothing positive
is gonna be negative.
And then it's crazy, like I came home for the month. I was like, okay, you know what? I was excited for the first time ever to go back to New York, and I didn't know why. I was so excited. And when I got back to New York, blam, everything that I asked for just was like, here you go, Bianca. This is what you deserve. I was like,
there you go.
I was like, yo, I remember sitting on the floor, like thinking about how much I wanted these exact things. Not even career-wise, not even dance-wise. I wanted a community of people that I could call my friends, and that was the first thing that came. And I wanted to be happy and love New York, and all of a sudden I love New York. I was like, I love this place. I was like, but how do I love this place? So like, what happened? What changed? Because of me just changing my mindset, you know. And after that, I realized, wow, Bianca, if you could do that, see what else you could actually really do. And then I ended up meeting people who also think the same way, and it was like, yo, manifestation is a real thing. Everything that they had in their life was a real. And I was like, I'm meeting more people who actually have the same mentality. This is like really guiding me to a place that I didn't even know exists.
And then,
you know.
So do you still practice this?
To be honest, I mean, I've kind of been slacking on the meditation, but and again because I trying to be honest, ever since I came back, I've been trying to like, you know, give classes, work with K1, do the foster homes. Like I've been trying to like just give as much as I can left, like for the island, you know what I mean? Because it's been a good year. So in my head, I'm like, okay, you know what, I want to now teach classes, you know, be with the people who want to take classes from me, and you know, just give back. So I haven't had time to really like even reflect or like think about anything, you know. But I realized since it's such a important thing, I need to like get on it before the year ends, you know, to just be like ready for 2019. But it is something that I realized like you just have to
it's
keep
like
on,
a practice,
you know. It's definitely
habit,
a practice. Yeah. And that's why when people say like, oh, meditation don't work, my mind is all over the place, like it's not something that's ever going to get easier. You have to literally consciously wake up every day and be like, today is going to be a good day. Like I'm going to have a clear mind, I'm going to be positive, whatever happens. But you need to like set that intention, you know. You can't just wake up and be like, I meditate today, meditation don't work. Whatever, prayer, meditation is the same thing, you know what I mean? Whatever you call it, whatever it is for you, like I think it's important to start your day off with something positive, and then set your intention for the day so it could go that way, you know. And just keep practicing, having a positive mindset and attracting the things that you want. And that's why I always tell like my family, especially the people closest to me, I always say like, don't like criticize people, don't talk about the things that you don't want, like don't get upset when you're repeating the same story over and over again. Like talk about something that makes you feel good, or even when something doesn't make you feel good, like don't talk about it too much. Don't keep yourself in that vibration. Like keep building yourself to stay on that positive mindset, because before you know it, you're upset because this person did that, you're upset because you're in the car and this person cut you off, and then today is a horrible day, and as soon as you say that, bam,
everything is
it literally goes that way.
Perspective.
And then it turns into a
but it's more than perspective. It's literally you creating your reality. As soon as you start negative, everything else is going to be negative. One thing after the other is going to be worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And you'll be like, well, how the heck this day just went so bad? But it's also because of things outside of you, but also because of yourself, you know? Like you could also perceive something negative that happens to you in a good way and be like, what is this teaching me? Like,
looking
what's happening for me? Like, this is happening for me. So what do I need to take from this? As opposed to being like, oh, this person always doing this to me, or oh, this always happening to me. If you keep saying everything is happening to you, to me that mindset, like when I heard when I heard this one saying, everything is happening for you, not to you, it changed my whole world. Because then I realized I have to find a purpose in everything. Nothing is random. When you say that, why is this happening to me? You feel lost. It's like, well, I don't know why this is happening to me. When you say it's happening for me, even if it's negative, it's like, okay, this is happening for me. So what do I have to learn? What did I do wrong in this situation? Like, why did this situation happen? Like, let me reflect and analyze everything and see what this is teaching me. But when you say, why is it happening to me? It's like, oh, life is unfair. Like this is just all random. That today was just not a good day. But for me, I think nothing is coincidence, like you say, you know. So what am I taking? What should I take from this? Even as simple as a conversation. If a conversation doesn't go right, or if I have a bad energy from somebody, it's like, what is this teaching me? You know what I mean? It's never the person really. It's always something within yourself. Like, why didn't I really vibe with this person? You know, sometimes it could be them, yes, but I rather reflect and reflect as deeply as possible and find out what is in me that's
sometimes
not
you're interpreting something they say
right
wrong.
What if you just look back at Bianca Dijkhoffz before you left here to go pursue your dreams and grow? Like, if you just look back at that, what are your thoughts about it?
I mean, it's funny because people don't usually say that they're proud of themselves, but aside from dance, like I'm proud of the person that I'm becoming, you know. I'm proud of like my mindset at such a young age to be able to carry myself through these things, you know, because especially in the dance industry, I see people beating up on themselves every day. I see people so negative on something as simple as not being able to pick up on choreography. You know, they storm off to the side and they're like, oh, like you can see they're just so angry and frustrated with themselves, you know. And I don't want to be my enemy. I need to be my best friend in this life. When my from me achieving the things that I really want to do, like career wise, like I'm proud of like the strength that I obtained, you know, because like before like leaving the island, I felt like after that, after my 5 months there, when I was like no, I was so weak, you know. I was like, I want to just come home, I want to give up, you know. Like I'm proud of myself for like really like pushing through and like finding my own mindset, like how do I think, how can I push myself through, because no lie, like my mom was a big part of like everything that I am now, but I kind of had to find who am I going to be without her, you know? Without her pushing me and telling me go even though I didn't want to go. Like I'm proud of like me knowing like, okay, like I can actually do this by myself. This is what I'm thinking on my own, as opposed to it being somebody else who's like pushing me, you know? So I would just say that I'm really proud of like who I've become. And you know, aside from dance, I feel like the knowledge that I have and the wisdom that I have at what, you know, people say that you don't have knowledge or wisdom, or you don't have wisdom at a young age, but I feel like I do have a lot to say. Like I feel like this is also something that I want to share with the world aside from dance, you know, because I can inspire people to feel joyful and happy when I dance, or whatever they feel when they see me, you know, whether it's inspiring them to pursue their dreams. I also want to be able to share what I have to say, because I feel like that's just as valuable as whatever I do with my body, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why like with these conversations, I know it's always so short, but you know, even on the radio, it's like I didn't come to the radio to talk about like the things I've done. I want people to know what I've done so they can know what they could do, but I also want people to like know the mindset behind it all, because it's not just going around.
Do what you do, they're part
exactly
of
right.
What is
the thinking,
right?
Mindset.
That is that's important.
And I feel like maybe on this island we don't even talk about that enough. You know what I mean? When people have mental problems or mental illnesses, like we always like we don't understand it ourselves, and then we like to cover it up. We don't want to talk about it. But I feel like the more we actually open this conversation, it could create such a healthier community for us in general. You know, like I feel like here like we have such backward ways of thinking, and we don't even know why. You know, I think we need to understand that we need to like reflect as a community, and just as hard as it is to let go of the ego, let go of the things that's not working for us anymore. Like let our, like you're saying, like find your passion, follow your passion. Is being realistic is following your passion. Being realistic is following your purpose, because your purpose is what you were put here to do. So your purpose is not something you're going to do on the side. Your purpose is how you're going to change the world. So your parents can't tell you to go be a doctor. That's not how you're going to change the world if that's not what your purpose is. So our conversation needs to be completely different, in not only on the island but in the world, you know. But I feel like our generation is the one to do that, because we are creating such a lane that's never existed before. From even like teenagers making millions of dollars off of Instagram, you know. They had an original idea, whether we think it's stupid or not. They are making millions off of it and changing the game, changing the way that we see the world, you know. And I feel like no longer can any authority or any program, way of thinking, like we have to go to high school, then college, it can't hold us back anymore, because we are the generation that's like wide awake. We're like, I don't give a crap what you have to say about anything. Look at you. What did you do? Nothing really, mom or dad or auntie, you know what I mean? Like, what did you do? You wanted to do this, but now you're here working in a supermarket. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we want so much more for our life, you know?
So like, because people follow a career, right? Like let's say an accountant, right? They follow a career, but I don't know if you agree, but in what I feel is people don't think further than like how do we reflect as a people? You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. It's hard to send that message when you know you have people who want
trying to stay
follow
comfortable and stay on that path, right?
So how do you tell them to like look within you and find what sparks this?
I mean, to be honest, they say. I guess people that I follow, people that I look up to when it comes to like their wisdom and them changing the world with their mindsets. I mean, they say, you know, you can't wake everybody up, but you have to still send them love. They say, you know, tuck them in, put a sheet over them, tell them good night. Because some people will just stay on that path.
But probably some people are content in that path. If you are content with what you're doing, then what is the problem?
But to us, that's not, to me, a purpose means a way that you could change the world, a way that you could affect the world and make it a better place. You know, a purpose is never something that's only going to benefit you.
Right.
So for me,
that's my thing.
So for me, even though yes, we all happy, but they're
maybe
still
that
asleep.
affected
They're still
change in their way, you know, because
yeah, a change because other people are seeing them and we're like, that's not what we want for us. We see the real purpose that we want to do that's greater than that. We see that, and that's the example that we're not going to follow.
I feel like people don't question. Like people, like for example, going to work. People don't question. People wake up, or go to work, come back home, go to bed, wake up, and not say something is wrong with that. But I feel like,
are you genuinely happy?
Are we really questioning? What is
for those that have that feeling that I'm not complete,
exactly,
just for those. So if you do the 9 to 5 and you're okay,
you're okay, then that's fine.
The thing is, if you don't question it, how do you know?
How do you know?
But maybe
you know what I mean? So then maybe there are people in this world, like let's say whatever, like when Bianca opens up her mouth and questions and like makes you think, and that's why
then it's
she's
like,
saying
whoa.
start a conversation
to change the mind.
Because if you are in your head, the only way you could get out your head is if you hear something of
different.
Influence and something different, because you're in your surroundings and that's all
you see everywhere. So this must be it.
So this must be it. So but if you open up here, if you by chance hear something that touch your soul, and then you start questioning, like maybe I do need to pick up a book, or like maybe I do want to learn more about my history, or you know what I mean? So it's about and that, I think that's where you were going to with leading to this, the power of social media, because it allows the good messages but also the bad but the good messages to capture people that may not have been captured, or who have been in this, because I follow this guy Chaka Bars. I'm sure that I think I sent you something about what he had written. He was living a life. He was in the military. He was living a life of just complacency, or in what his mind he thought was it. He thought that he was it until something hit him, and he was like, no, I need to make a change. I'm following a system that is not conducive to the world.
Set up to make you think that you need to work to make money, have a family, and just die. So you don't understand. So the government could just continue leading us into like nothing. But that's kind of what she's saying. It's sad, but a lot of people don't even understand that they are being controlled by a system. So when she's saying like wake up to like reality, is like the first step for the world to change, to overcome these people that's trying to keep us in our class system, so keep us controlled, is to realize that we are being controlled, is to realize that, is this life I'm really living supposed to be the life that I'm living? Or was I forced into this? The more that people wake up and the more that they realize that this is not what we're supposed to be doing, they challenge the system. And then when we all come together, as much as they want to break us apart and be like white against black, Indians against when we realize it's not even about that, when we realize it's about them trying to keep us asleep so they could just control us and make money off of us, because that's just all what this is all about, we could actually wake up and be like, because I'm not going to be controlled by this system.
Prime examples, change in the world would never have happened if people like Nelson Mandela or Malcolm X or even Martin Luther King pushed the challenged the system and said, but is this, like I waking up every day, is this the way how my life is supposed to really be in this system?
My view on purpose is, other than, I think it's very future oriented, it's also to balance it, like, with what you're experiencing now. Because when I think about purpose, I start to get like nervous and like pressure. I think it's a lot of pressure when you have to say, well, you need to figure out what your purpose is. It's always that balance of, okay, what am I doing a year from now, what am I 2 years from now? And that's very much how I saw it throughout my whole career, and I'm trying to actually go away from that. I want to be
that's why living it now.
Because we all created from the same thing, and that's kind of why I say, for me, like the way I view purpose is to be able to change the world in a positive way and affect other people, because that's like what Jesus did, that's what all these prophets did. They didn't come here to be like, selfish. Here I am, a prophet, like I'm doing this for me. They came to share a message and to help us progress and become more conscious of the world and become more aware and live better lives.